Коллеги, 16:00. Давайте начнем нашу встречу. Если не возражаете, два коротких организационных комментария, а пока хочу поприветствовать всех на мероприятии, которые проводит комиссия по потребительскому рынку Общественного Совета Минпромторга России, Московская школа управления СКОЛКОВО, родственный центр, и наши уважаемые коллеги из Финляндии, Министерства природных ресурсов. Лера, поправьте меня или дополните, если мне память. Может быть, Светлана точнее представит чуть позже, потом. Хорошо? Свет, вы представите финских спикеров. Сейчас организационно. Первое. У меня будет просьба к Роману Гридину, нашему сегодняшнему организатору, выключить у всех микрофоны, так, чтобы по умолчанию они все были бы выключены, но включали бы их либо спикеры, либо те, кто задают вопросы, подняв руку, сказав, что они хотят задать вопросы, хотя гораздо эффективнее, поверьте, я думаю, вы уже с этим сталкивались, гораздо эффективнее задавать вопросы в чате. И второе сообщение касается перевода. Если вы посмотрите на свои экраны, в правом нижнем углу, рядом с иконкой «Выйти», есть иконка «Язык». Зайдите туда и выберите, соответственно, либо английский, либо русский перевод, и тогда вы будете слышать нашего переводчика Дарью, которая нам сегодня поможет провести это мероприятие между Хельсинки и Москвой. Даш, спасибо вам заранее большое. А сейчас я с удовольствием передаю слово Светлане для того, чтобы представить наших коллег из Финляндии, которые и на теоретическом уровне, и на практическом уровне добились очень и очень серьезных успехов в тех областях, где мы по существу только начинаем учиться тому, как надо решать проблемы. Спасибо, Света.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги. Меня зовут Светлана Сильвина-Ремгийску, я представитель Министерства окружающей среды Финляндии. Очень рада тому, что здесь столько заинтересованных лиц, заинтересованных участников в финской системе обращения с отходами, в финской системе РОП, в практиках мусоросжигания. Хотела бы сказать, что Финское министерство окружающей среды в конце прошлого года запустило проект по сотрудничеству с Российской Федерацией в области устойчивого обращения с отходами. В рамках этого проекта мы хотим поделиться всем нашим опытом, наилучшими практиками, знаниями, чтобы помочь Российской Федерации реализовать реформу обращения с отходами. Хотела бы представить других спикеров на этой конференции. Это Теему Виртанен, представитель Пирканма Центра окружающей среды. Это организация, которая ответственна за контроль расширенной системы ответственности производителя Финляндии. Петр Расмусен из Ассоциации производителя Suomen Uusimuovi, производителя пластика. И Матти Ниеминена, ведущего специалиста Государственного Центра технических исследований ВТТ, который будет рассказывать про практики мусоросжигания. Будем рады, если вы будете задавать свои вопросы в чате, постараемся на них ответить в рамках этого мероприятия. Если времени не хватит, то ответим на них постфактум. Все ваши вопросы мы, разумеется, сохраним. И я начну, наверное, со своей презентации, где я расскажу вкратце о финской системе обращения с отходами и каким образом расширенная ответственность производителя функционирует в рамках этой системы. Сначала коротко о истории РОП в Финляндии. РОП был внедрен впервые в 1996 году и распространился на шины моторных автомобилей. Уже в следующем году он распространился на упаковку, но это был частичный РОП, то есть производителям было необходимо утилизировать только 61% по весу всей упаковки. В 2008 году РОП затронул газеты и журналы, потом электрическое, электронное оборудование, легковые автомобили, фургоны, батарейки, аккумуляторы. И в 2016 году, совсем недавно, была принята именно расширенная ответственность производителя, которая уже касалась всей упаковки. В следующем году планируется внедрение РОП, который будет затрагивать некоторые изделия из пластика, включая также определенные затраты на уборку мусора из этой продукции. Это табачные изделия с фильтром, самые фильтры, упаковка готовых к использованию пищи, упаковка от напитков, одноразовые кружки, сумки, влажные салфетки, воздушные шары. И также будет внедрен раздельный сбор пластикового рыболовного снаряжения. Вкратце о финской системе обращения с отходами. Общий объем ТКО составляет 2,7 миллиона тонн, это около 500 килограммов на человека. И, как вы видите, доля упаковки очень большая, например, бумага и картон составляет 27%, пластик 13%, и также органика и садовые отходы. Общий объем упаковки составляет 113 килограмм на человека в Финляндии, это меньше, чем в Евросоюзе, но, к сожалению, объем производимых отходов с каждым годом растет. Перед нами Евросоюз поставил очень амбициозные цели. Уже в этом году нужно будет достичь показателя по переработке в 50%. В 2016 году этот показатель составлял 42%. Большая часть отходов проходит энергетическую утилизацию, то есть сжигается и захоранивается меньше 1%. Но к 1935 году будет необходимо уже утилизировать 65% всех отходов, и это будет происходить за счет снижения доли мусоросжигания. Также по упаковке стоят амбициозные цели. К 2030 году необходимо будет утилизировать 70% всей упаковки. Хочу акцентировать ваше внимание на том, что РОП – это один из инструментов политики, который способствует утилизации. Есть и другие очень эффективные инструменты. Во-первых, это налог на отходы, которые отправляются на полигоны. Это был один из тех инструментов, который сократил захоронение на полигонах. Запрет на захоронение органических отходов, включая пластиковые, который вступил в силу в 2016 году. Плата за обращение с отходами, которая стимулирует переработку, что значит, что обращение со смешанными отходами и вывоз смешанных отходов будет стоить конечному пользователю дороже, чем вывоз заранее сортированных отходов. Депозитная система возврата упаковки из-под напитков, которая очень эффективно функционирует в Финляндии, была впервые внедрена в 1950-м. Требования по раздельному сбору бумаги, картона, стекла, металла, пластика, органических отходов, а также опасных отходов и отходов, попадающих под схемы РОП, и другие законодательные инициативы, например, зеленые сделки между государством, ассоциациями, компаниями, где компании ставят себе определенные цели, например, по материальной эффективности. Эти зеленые сделки – это никакая не законодательная инициатива, это добровольная инициатива, и таким образом компании получают статус зеленой экологической компании и могут сократить также расходы. Как я сказала, депозитная система возврата упаковки из-под напитков очень эффективна. Это добровольная система. Присоединяясь к ней, производители и импортеры напитков освобождаются от налога на упаковку от напитков. Она охватывает большой спектр различных контейнеров: воду, лимонады, пиво, ликеры. И имеет очень высокие показатели возврата, то есть 96% всех алюминиевых банок возвращается обратно в систему, 92% пластиковых бутылок и 97% стеклянных бутылок. Здесь, на этом графике, вы видите, что самую большую ответственность за обращение с отходами несет муниципалитет. Под ответственность производителя попадает в Финляндии порядка 25% всех образованных ТКО. Еще 19% под ответственность владельцев отходов. Это значит, что расходы, связанные с управлением отходами, несут частные предприниматели, частные компании. В Финляндии муниципалитеты обычно объединяются, организовывают совместные муниципальные компании по управлению с отходами. В Финляндии таких компаний 33, и они обслуживают более 90% населения. Здесь представлена, как схема сбора отходов вообще происходит в Финляндии. Людей, во-первых, побуждают к тому, чтобы они использовали повторно как можно больше каких-то вышедших из потребления вещей, старых вещей, которые могли бы стать отходами, то есть, например, продавать их на блошиных рынках. Потом люди сортируют отходы на те фракции, которые я уже перечислила раньше. Здесь очень важна роль экологического просвещения. Экологическое просвещение начинается еще в детском садике, поэтому люди, в принципе, привыкают с самого детского возраста сортировать свои отходы. Во дворе многоквартирных домов есть контейнеры для различных фракций. Также есть сортировочные станции, куда можно вывести какие-то другие отходы, крупногабаритные. И приходят мусоровозы и отвозят различные фракции на различные перерабатывающие мощности. Здесь та же самая схема, только в другом варианте вы видите, что различные фракции отвозятся на переработку, смешанные отходы идут на сжигание, а органические отходы на переработку, то есть из них производится биогаз и компост. Важно заметить, как я уже сказала, что доля упаковки очень большая, она занимает порядка 40% от всей утилизации ТКО. И важно заметить, что здесь важно сотрудничество между частными компаниями, между производителями, между муниципалитетами, между обычными жителями. И каждая из этих сторон тоже несет свои расходы. Производители платят за организацию пунктов сбора упаковки, домашние хозяйства тоже несут расходы, что им нужно будет отвезти свои отходы туда. Если люди живут в многоквартирных домах, они могут выбросить различные фракции у себя дома, тогда муниципалитет несет расходы по планированию и осуществлению этого дополнительного сбора. А частные компании доставляют упаковку самостоятельно в пункты сбора и несут сопутствующие расходы. Про это расскажут наши следующие спикеры, но хочу сказать, что эта система работает именно в комплексе, и система РОП интегрирована в систему обращения с твердокоммунальными отходами. Два слова о экологических показателях и как их достичь с помощью системы расширенной ответственности производителя. В идеале реализация РОП должна влиять на дизайн товаров, но этот эффект все еще невелик. На дизайн продукции влияет предполагаемое использование ее, цена, срок годности продукта и только после этого пригодность для переработки. Также закон обязывает производителей заботиться о определенном количестве аналогичной продукции, то есть не своей продукции, не произведенной им, а аналогичной. Поэтому производители не так активно еще занимаются дизайном продуктов. Но есть разные законодательные инициативы. Директива экодизайна Евросоюза, закон о требованиях к экодизайну, касающийся энергопотребляющих продуктов, которая требует включать экологические аспекты и концепцию жизненного цикла в фазу проектирования. Есть в Финляндии постановление правительства об упаковке упаковочных продуктов, в которые включены некоторые требования к производству, составу и возможности повторного использования и утилизации упаковки. Также в этом году комиссия Евросоюз анонсировал план действий по экономике замкнутого цикла, и там предлагается расширить вот вышеупомянутую директиву экодизайна на другие виды продукции. И цель состоит в том, чтобы вывести на рынок долговечные и ремонтно-пригодные продукты, чтобы они служили как можно больше, и их было легко утилизировать. Сейчас большое значение отдается предотвращению возникновения отходов. Это регулирует директива Евросоюза, что государства-члены должны принимать определенные меры, чтобы продукция была как можно дольше в использовании, чтобы количество отходов сокращалось, чтобы цели соответствовали с иерархией отходов, чтобы в первую очередь отходы перерабатывались, использовались повторно и только после этого утилизировались и захоранивались. В Евросоюзе разрабатываются меры по содействию повторному использованию упаковки, например, схемы депозита, установление целевых показателей и так далее. В Евросоюзе внедрена уже разработана стратегия по пластику, и будет внедрена поправка к директиве по упаковке, которая обеспечит возможность повторного использования и переработки всех пластиковых упаковок к 2030 году. И также ровно через год вступит запрет на определенные продукты: разлагаемые пластиковые изделия, ватные палочки, столовые приборы, палочки для смешивания напитков и многие другие одноразовые товары, пластиковые товары. В Финляндии важным инструментом является национальный план по обращению с отходами. Там тоже прописаны меры по замедлению роста образования отходов, количество отходов. К сожалению, несмотря на эффективную систему обращения с отходами в Финляндии, до сих пор растет, и увеличение службы срока использования электронного электрического оборудования. Последние слайды. В данный момент в Финляндии проходит изменение законодательства. Идея в том, чтобы оно стало более эффективно, требования к сбору стали более строгими. Производится модернизация системы РОП. Например, в случае с упаковкой производители будут покрывать как минимум 80% всех связанных с этим расходов. То есть если муниципалитет организует дополнительный сбор, часть этих расходов будут покрывать производители. Требование к производителям быть частью ассоциации производителя. Принцип одного окна, когда производитель производит товары, подпадающие под разные категории РОП, он может через одну ассоциацию осуществить свою ответственность. Платежи производителя, которые будут формироваться на основе возможности повторного использования, ремонтно-пригодности, возможности переработки, долговечности продукции и распространение РОП на международную дистанционную торговлю. Посмотрим в будущее. Цели Евросоюза амбициозны, но тем не менее достижимы. У нас нет другого варианта. Нам необходимо достичь тех показателей, которые поставили перед нами Евросоюз. И мы видим, что в долгосрочной перспективе цель переработки в 55% и в 65% может быть экономически выгодным. Для этого требуются работающие рынки вторсырья, лучшее разделение обязанностей, этому будет отвечать новый закон. И чем больше будет возрастать уровень переработки, тем более экономически выгодно будет перерабатывать отходы. И, безусловно, необходим целостный подход в развитии системы. Благодарю вас за внимание. Готова передать слово следующему спикеру. Это будет Теему Виртанен из Pirkanmaan Elyn, Центра по окружающей среде. Пожалуйста, Теему, он вам расскажет подробно о системе расширенной ответственности производителей в Финляндии.
Thank you very much, and dear colleagues, and all those who are related to this waste management. I'm very happy to work with you. Thank you. I will speak a bit about the basic information, the legal background and administration about EPR. It is it's quite broad context because EPR is put in the force differently in different countries. In Finland, we have 4 sectors: packaging, electric and electronic devices, accus and batteries, and end-of-life vehicles, which are based on EU directives and implemented to Finnish legislation. And in addition for that, we have 2 sectors, paper and used car tire, national legislation without any directive background. But new sectors will be included in the future. There will be plastic fishing gear, for example, textiles, and also tobacco. Tobacco is a bit different because it's more like a cleaning and not waste management itself. But in national authorities in Finland, I work in city of Tampere, where the Center for Economic Development, Transport and Environment for Pirkanmaa is located. And I'm head of the Producer Responsibility Control Group, and we have altogether 5 persons. And we have 6 sectors and lots of work. So we covered the whole Finland. So 5 persons is not very much, but we have to work quite hard. We act as a National Producer Responsibility Authority. We do registering, so we register all producer corporations, producers. We monitor the work. We do free rider hunting. We collect the data from producers and producer corporations and report statistics and implementation of directives to the Commission also. And we run the producer register. And then Ministry of Environment is responsible for drafting legislation, so they implement the directives to Finnish legislation, and they provide guidance to us because they go more often to Brussels than we do. We also take part of some EU meetings about implementation of directives. So I think we go there maybe 2 or 3 times a year, every person. But now when this virus is running around, we try to do also computer meetings with Commission. And this is what we do as a responsible authority. So this is actually quite good view of our work. We do decisions and control. So we register all producers and corporations. Note that producer corporations do not exist until we have made a registration decision. So producers or producer corporations just can't say that we are producer corporation. They have legal responsibilities, and they can take those responsibilities when we accept them. Then we check the coverage of collection networks, because in our legislation, producers have to establish the collection network. It's their work to do. It's no one else is responsible of collection network for separate collection network for producer responsibility products. Then collection and recycling target achievements, because producers have to reach the targets. No one else has responsible for that. Communication to end users. Producers have to give information where the collection points are located, how they are open, and it's their work to inform that to the end users. But producers also have privilege to arrange waste management. So they have first priority to arrange the collection for the producer responsibility products. So others just can't go there and take all valuable things and then leave all other things to producers. So producers have the privilege. And then we do free rider hunting, which is a quite big task. Then statistics, annual reporting data, national statistics, reports to Commission, methodology reports. Now they are called quality assurance reports. And then we also publish the data in our internet pages, because we also keep up the internet pages. And then we do influencing. Of course, we take part of the preparation of legislation, and we take part of commissions and Nordic expert and working groups. We have stakeholder meetings, which means we we do cooperation with all those who are involved with the waste management business. And then we also do national guidelines. It's our work to do guidelines for preparation, so that legislation have to be also implemented, and we then give information and give guidance how to implement those responsibilities. And then we communication development, we have electronic service platforms, so everything is done electronically. And we run the register, and register is one thing that directives require us to do. And then we also lots of guidance and help for producers. So we don't only supervise, we also guidance and help them to make things right. We do studies if needed. We have quality system documents, how everything is done in how decision-making flows are going, and that's very, very important to do also. And of course, we do cooperation with other member states, authorities, and there's lots of things that we also do. That's what we do. We have 6 sectors and 5 persons, so lots of work. But producer responsibility in Finland, producers are responsible of arranging the waste management. In some countries, like in Denmark, Ireland, the communities are responsible of collection, and producers are then responsible of collecting those equipments and materials from communities and treat them. But because the collection and transport is the most expensive thing in this whole waste management, it's cheaper for them to do, for producers. But now a commission is requiring more financing from producers also. But in Finland, we set the targets, we set the requirements, how many collection points producers should have in Finland. They have to be in every community, and then producers have to arrange those and pay all expenses. And also when materials comes to those collection points, they have to make contracts to treat them, and then they have to report everything to us. So they take care of everything, arranging and financing the waste management. So that you can call 100% producer responsibility. But note that producers are not responsible of any waste that doesn't come to their system. So they don't get all the material because people just don't bring those materials to the collection points. So they can't take responsible of materials which they don't get. But everything that comes to their system, they have to arrange and finance. Producers are usually manufacturers of products, which means in this case Finnish companies, or Finnish importers who import products from other countries. And if there is foreign distant sellers, they have to nominate authorized representative to Finland to take responsibility on behalf of that foreign company. That's new, and that's quite difficult, especially distant sellers which are located outside EU, like in China or usually Chinese big companies. So that's difficult. Retailers are usually not producers unless they also import things which they sell. But retailers may have their own responsibilities about collection, like portable batteries. If you sell batteries, you have to take them back, but producers are responsible of collecting those batteries from that retailer and take care of the treatment. So in Finland, producers, they arrange collection network, transportation, treatment, and pay all those costs. So that is the producer responsibility in Finland. And they have to register. Yeah, and they either register straight to the register or join approved producer corporation. And if producer joins the corporation, it doesn't have to register again because it transfers all the responsibilities to the corporation. So a corporation is then the one that we supervise, not the individual producers anymore, which are members of the corporation. And they have to, at the same way as producers, they have to organize waste management, the producer corporations. And this collection points, this is very important because a collection point is the point where the material comes to the right channel. And those are free of charge to end users. They are paid by producers, but they have be dense and good service level for collection points so that you can get the material in and you can achieve the collection, recycling, and the recovery targets. So I think this is the most important thing in this whole thing, is this good collection system. And of course, they have to keep record to imported, collected, recycled amounts and submit the information to authority. And then they also producers are responsible of that reuse, recycling, and other recovery, and they have to arrange the system so that targets are met. No one else is responsible of achieving targets than producers. And then supervision and administrative enforcement. Because the free rider problem it's quite common, although there's this 1090 rule, it's 10% of the companies put about 90% of the volume to the market, and the rest are small ones. The rest, smaller, 90% of the companies placed about 10% of products to the market. So you have to first take care of the big ones so that you can cover the producer responsibility, and then go smaller and smaller. But of course, it's difficult. But if producers do not register or join producer corporation, they get penalty payment for negligence, and that's 1% of the turnover of the company. It's no less than 500 euros and no more than €500,000. And if they don't report, there's also penalty payment, which is no less than €500 and no more than €10,000. But know that this payment doesn't mean that you don't have to register or join. You still have to register and join producer corporation and report. It's just addition payment for on top of the system, so that you just can't do it so that you just pay and do nothing else. That's not the case. But these are only things we can use this penalty payment. In other cases, it's more difficult if they just don't arrange waste management as they should. Then there's we have to inform them that now you should do this and this, and we can add a conditional fine that if you don't do this in this and this timeline, then you have to pay a fine. An amount of fine will be set individually according to magnitude of the violation. And then there's you can apply that to the court and different things. Or we can take the case to the police investigation also in case of big violations of the legislation. Now I have to ask Sveta, do you think that, was it meant that I continue with this another presentation?
I could ask you a couple of questions now.
Okay, sure.
That you could continue. Я сейчас задам пару вопросов Тему, и потом мы продолжим. Первый вопрос сейчас поступил в чат. Кто финансирует работу национального центра? Кто финансирует работу Pirkanmaan Ely?
Yeah, if you mean us, which are supervising authority, then it's normal state level. We are just normal normal state agency inside of this Center for Economic Development, Traffic and the Environment. So it's normal budget money which comes to us. So we get some money from producers, but it doesn't come to us. But we charge decision. There's a decision fee. When we make a decision, it costs something, and when they make the reporting, it costs also something. But we don't collect any money for waste management issues, only administration, and that goes to the state level and not for our office.
Спасибо большое, Тему. И второй вопрос. Какое основное достоинство именно финской системы РОП?
We have a couple of issues which are good ones. I will actually tell something about that in our next presentation. But one thing is very good, that producer corporations can be only established by producers themselves, and only producers can be a member of them, which means that they use their own money to arrange it. It's not any outsider, it's not any big waste management company which is a producer corporation, because those of course wants to make business, but producer corporation owned by producers themselves don't want to make any profit or make business. They want to take care of their members' responsibilities. So it's in that way it's efficient and doesn't make any strange combinations or interest conflicts with the waste management companies. I think that's quite good. And then this is quite transparent system. So producers know why they pay fees, where they go, and they make decisions of the fees by themselves. So they are more than if there's some outsider who just says that you have to pay this and this, and they don't have any decision power over that. So it's their own system. They feel that we are running our system, our EPR system. It's not anything outside EPR system.
Спасибо большое, Тему. Быстрый вопрос из чата. Вот вы говорите про ассоциации, про корпорации производителей. Это частные компании, либо это некоммерческие организации? Сможете это прокомментировать, и после этого можете продолжать ваше выступление.
Yeah, the corporation or organization, or it has many names. In Finnish, it's tuottajayhteisö, which means united producers, maybe, but it means that they are established by producers themselves. We have accepted them to be producer corporations, which takes responsibility of all those responsibles on behalf of their members. So it's actually group of producers who do this together. So it's not outsiders. They are non-profit organizations, because why producers want to pay more to the corporation what is needed for financing the waste management. And it's not state level, and we are not involved with the work of that. We don't set any fees, recycling fees. So it's run by the producers. It's established by producers, run by producers, and I think it works quite well.
Спасибо большое, Тему, и вы можете продолжать вашу презентацию.
Okay, should I continue now? Okay. Yeah, now there's this producer corporation. So now you can have a short introduction to what producer corporation means, because the most producers have joined the corporation, and that is because the collection, arranging collection as an individual producer is very difficult, because we have the requirement for collection points. It's so large. I think for packaging it's something like 1,850 collection points in all over the country. It has to cover the whole Finland. And for electronic and electric devices, it's 450 points. And so there are different amount of points for different kinds of products. And that is because some collection points need environmental permits if they are dangerous goods, like electronic and electronic devices. You just can't establish a collection point. And usually these collection points, they are not, they are producers' collection points, but they are run by the outside companies. They can be communities or cities or public collection points, or producers can buy services from private operators also. So they are run by outsiders, but producers have bought services from them. So producers are able to just choose which kind of contracts and with whom they make. They just have to cover the collection network, and that's it. But we don't say that you have to make a contract with this and this. They make contract with anyone who has abilities and permits to do so. And producers, they jointly establish a legally competent corporation, and only producers can form that producer corporation and be a member of it. But there can be several producer organizations or corporations in the same sector. So, for example, in electric and electronic devices, there's a 5 producer corporation, but they do cooperation so that they have a same collection network, and they just divide the financing responsibilities between each other. It's sort of clearinghouse system within, but that's voluntary system. And producer corporations have to take new members. They just can't say that these are my members, I don't take anyone anymore. They have to take producers as their members if producer wants to join them, and they have to take, of course, the same rules and same responsibilities to new producers also, so that they're all same level in producers in that so obligations must be fairly divided between producers. And producers make the decisions of the rules of that producer corporation, and also fees in which they collect from their members. It's not authority who makes any decisions inside the producer corporation. And corporations buy services market-based from waste operators. It's public or private. And then you can see about these stakeholders. You can see that there is we are in the middle like a spider in the web. But if there are several different things that you have to take under consideration. There are other authorities, which of course do cooperation. Then there's industry and commerce, the producers, industry unions, commerce unions, waste operators unions. Then there are customers which have responsibilities to our side. The producers, producer corporations, waste operators, and then of course legislation, Ministry of Environment and EU Commission. So you can see that this is quite. You have to take under consideration quite many things. And here you can see about this magnitude and how these are packages. There are 5 corporations, about 6,000 producers. In Finland, those companies who have turnover less than 1 million euros don't have to register at the moment and do anything, but that may change. But that's why it has limited amount of small companies inside the producer responsibilities. But that's only for packages. So there's 6,000 producers, and for glass, metal, and cardboard, there's this 2,850 collection points, and plastics, it's about 500 collection points. And there you can see somehow I can't see. Okay, here I can see it. The collection amount is about 135 kilograms per inhabitant in a year. That comes to the producer system. For paper, it's 2 corporations, 80 producers, 8,900 collection points, and collection from premises, also from houses. And there's 36 kilograms per inhabitant. End-of-life vehicles, 1 corporation, 195 producers, 300 collection points. And for cars, it's a bit funny to say how many kilograms per inhabitant the amount is, but it's 25 kilograms. Tires, 420 producers, 1 corporation, over nearly 3,000 collection points. They're mainly retailers who sell tires, and they collect that. 11 kilograms in inhabitant. And then electric devices, 1,300 producers, 5 corporations. There are 2,500 retail collection points and 470 collection points, for about 14 kilograms per inhabitant annually. And batteries and accumulators, 1,000 producers, 4 corporations, 14,000 retail collection points, 1,400 collection points, and about 4 kilograms per inhabitant annually. So here you can see some magnitudes about in system at the moment. And there are examples of targets and fees. For packaging, total target is 55. It will come 65% in 2025. This comes from directive. And cardboard, now it's 60 to 75. And these are targets. These are not what are met, because they're not so easily comparable. Be very careful with percentages, because in different directives, different EPS systems, targets are calculated differently. Some are calculated from collected, some are calculated related to the placed on the market, some are calculated incoming thing to the recycling plant, and some are for taking out the rejects and other things. So it's not easy. But fees in producer corporations, cardboard and paper, it's from 10 to 50 euros per ton about. That's B2C packaging. B2B packaging is a bit different. Plastics, 119 euros, and B2B 54. Glass 98. It's both. Aluminium for B2C products 126, but B2B 26. And this is due to the, because it's expensive to collect from consumers things. That's why the collection fee, the fee shows the expensive of how expensive it is to collect and transport. The collection and transportation is the most expensive part of the waste management. And for paper, it's zero. They don't, because paper is a valuable product as a waste. So they don't have to collect any money from producers. It runs on its own. And for electronic devices, cooling devices are expensive to treat. That's why it's 200 euros per ton. Heating devices are not so expensive. It's 9 euros per ton. Ovens, dishwashers, they contain so much good steel that actually producer corporation pays to the producers, to their members, annually 60 euros per ton. PCs, laptops, tablets, they are also valuable. So producer corporation pays to the producers. So they don't have to pay anything to producer corporation. It's another way. And batteries are quite expensive to collect and treat. So of course they are small. So for one battery, the price is small, but for ton, it's expensive. But note that these fees cover everything: collection, transport, treatment, reporting, and information to end users. It covers everything. It's not just recycling fee, it's total fee. It's producer responsibility fee, actually. And these are set by producers themselves, these prices. And then challenges. 6 sectors and at least 20,000 producers to be supervised. Distance selling will be included, very difficult. And there's no list where we can pick up producers. It's very hard to find them. And we do cooperation with producer corporations because, of course, they know their sector quite well. So if there are some big ones who have not done anything, they can send us information that this company has not fulfilled its requirements, and then we can contact them. But that takes a lot of resources. And also this, it's difficult for small companies, especially if their activity covers several sectors, because there's no central office of producer corporations. They are all individual. And if we have, for example, some device which is electronic device, contains a battery and is packed, then there's a three responsibilities: electronic responsibility, electronic device, battery responsibility, and packaging responsibility. So they have to join three different producer corporations, and all have a bit different systems for charging fees or reporting. So there's no one place where they can go that I would like to fulfill all my requirements. There's no such thing. Reliable reporting data is difficult to get. And that is because you can't get that information from customs. Usually custom coding is different than this one. And also treatment chains can be very complex. Some goes to abroad, multi-material packages, how they are treated. And some of the data we collect, mostly from producers, but also from waste operators straight, if they have straight contacts with especially B2B equipments in some process industrial equipments which never come back to the producers but go to operators. And leasing companies is one thing, because they are not producers, because they don't import anything, but they own, for example, computers. They restore them and then they sell those mostly abroad.
Temo, I'm very sorry, but you have 4 minutes left.
4 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. And of course, there's change of legislation and timetable. So it's always so much new coming in all the time. But everything starts from the collection. That's most vital part of the treatment chain. It has to be dense enough and good service level. It's free for end users, and end users have to be well informed, and collection sites also must have all permits and follow all regulations. Then this free rider hunting takes resources and these EP sectors. And then, the ownership of the waste is also very important, because producers, when they arrange the collection, they also own the all waste that comes to their system. And that's very important. In some countries, communities arrange the collection, and then they sell everything valuable from between and less, and all the rest they give to producers, which has no value. So producers only have bad stuff and difficult to recycle stuff. So when producers make contracts, the ownership of the waste should be included to the contract, so they know what it is. And of course, there's some stealing from the collection points. You can't do very much for that, but that's quite common. And things do not always go as you wish. Producers do not get organized. That's trouble. If there's no producer corporation, no one creates collection system. There's no contracts, no treatment, no reporting. So they have to organize. And producer corporations, if they start unhealthy competition, that's also a problem. Then focus is on competition and not on service or this producer responsibility. Good personal contacts are also important, and everything takes more time than you expect. And I know, I'm sure that you know this anecdote, and yeah, that may happen, but even if it takes time and it's not easy, it can be done. Thank you.
Тогда мы переходим к следующему выступающему. Света, вас не слышно, у вас не включен микрофон.
Спасибо большое, Тему. У нас поступило очень много вопросов, но на них мы ответим, если у нас останется время после окончания конференции. Поэтому я даю слово следующему выступающему, Петру Расмуссену из Suomen Uusiomuovi, представителю ассоциации производителей, который расскажет про переработку пластика. Петр, пожалуйста. Peter, sulla on 15 minuuttia. You have.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Yeah, can you see the presentation? Hello. Yeah, you can see the presentation.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Rasmussen. I work for Suomen Uusiomuovi, and I will tell you how the plastic producer corporation works in Finland. Teemu Virtanen gave a very good presentation about the structures and the reporting systems, so I will not go in depth into that, more try to explain and tell you how it works in more in practice here. So this is first slide very shortly about our background and who we are. We are an, as I say, producer organization, producer corporation, founded already in 92, operative in 96. We are owned by 41 private companies in Finland, big brand owners, covering the whole value chain of packaging. So there are polymer producers, packaging producers, end users, and similar companies. And we have contracted about 2,500 companies or producers. About 11 million turnover, and we have 3 employees. So really what Teemu Virtanen told about the structure here is how it looks like from our direction. As I say, we have to the left, we have the producer that in Finland is a packer or importer of packed products. So it is not the packaging manufacturer that is the producer, but it is the packer and importer of packed goods. So they make a contract with the producer organization. They, for example, inform every year annually how much material, how much plastic packaging they use, and then they receive an annual payment, the so-called packaging fee or recycling fee. And that is Teemu mentioned. For us this year, it is for the commercial, for the household packaging is 119 euro per ton, and for the trade and industry, which means the commercial side, it's 54 euro per ton. So based on the volume you put on the market, you get an invoice, and that's then in a way is the 11 million euro turnover is coming from these 2,500 producers. And what they then receive from us is all the things that Teemu was explaining. We need to meet the legislation demands. We are arranging the collection, recycling services, general management, training, guidance, communication, all the long list that was mentioned here in the previous presentation. That is then all funded by the cost of the annual fee. In practice, how it's done, as mentioned in the beginning, we are only 3 people doing ourselves, but we are using a partner network. So we are buying the services. When it comes to the collection and recycling of household packaging, we have what we call, or is called bring stations, collection points, which are generally situated by supermarkets or daily goods shops. Teemu was mentioning that we need to have 500. We have now 630 plus these kind of stations. The other way to collect household packaging is the curbside collection or the door-to-door collection. It is the same thing. And there we also then provide not the emptying at the door-to-door, but we provide the terminal service and the recycling thereafter. For our part, of course, in plastic packaging, the balance between collection and recycling is important. It is, of course, the recycling that is in a way the main part, as we say, that collection is not yet recycling. You need to find the recycling for what you collect, and plastic is a little bit special in that case. I will come back to that. Then we have the collection and recycling of trade and industry packaging, where in Finland a large amount of that is handled, let's say, B2B. So the waste holder, the supermarket, the company is making a deal, a contract with the waste management company, and they do a big share of this business together, and they report the recycling to us. We then offer about 60 terminals for cost-free receival of the same kind of waste, and this is something that the legislation requires us to do. And then we have the big amount of communication information that Teemu was mentioning about. We need to inform the public where we have our collection points. We need to inform about the benefit of recycling and many other things, and that is also part of our legislation. And this is all done then by, as you can see, a network of service providers, waste collection companies, recycling companies, marketing and communication companies. So it's a network management. And of course, trying to develop and use the best practices available. We have also a good cooperation with a European network of similar companies, so we can benchmark and get the latest information from the rest of Europe and use that information to our best. Just an example of one part here is the plastic packaging is very light material compared with glass and many metals. So it is important that the collection bins and the collection system can take as much material, as much plastic as possible. The number one here is the waste compactor, which is probably a very special thing in Finland. We don't really see elsewhere in Europe in public places these kind of waste compactors. One compactor can take about 5 tons of material, so you don't have to empty it very often. And these are quite special compactors because they have a GPS and a smart distance control. We can distance read, for example, how full the compactor is, and the company that is then emptying the compactor can drive to the collection point just in time. They can see that now the filling grade is 90% and it's need emptying, and that can be distance controlled. So these are very high-tech machines. Then we have more the number 2 and number 3 that are more standard collection bins. And the one to the left is a front loader bin with 10 cubic meter, and the number 3 is a more common 7 cubic meter bin that you empty from the bottom. Of these compactors, we have 160 at the moment, and probably one of the biggest fleets in Europe at the moment for this kind of purpose. So anybody interested in this kind of system, you can please contact us. Something about the...
Peter, sorry, you have around 7 minutes
Okay,
left.
I will try to run through this. Regarding the recycling part, this is very important. You have different steps in it. We have one sorting facility in Finland, which is incorporated with also the granulation. So you have the sorting, you have the cleaning, and you have the granulation. And this is kind of very short picture of this, and it's quite complicated system in itself, but this is the more important part of everything. And the key of a good sorting is what we call the near infrared technology, which means the sorting technique to differ the different plastic polymers from each other. And that is the main thing that this sorting facility is doing. And this near technology also then a little bit leads the eco-design, how the packaging should be decided or designed. Regarding the plastic market in itself, a recycled plastic market, this is very important to acknowledge that there is a demand on recycled plastics. Some have a better demand. Here is mentioned now for our side, the rigid high density, the rigid polypropylene and rigid APET have a good demand at the moment, as well as transparent LDP film. Then some other materials like polystyrene, flexible PP film don't really have a big demand as recycled. And that's why, in a way, not very often either sorted. Here is very short our recycling numbers from the previous year. In Finland, the separate collection of household packaging, plastic packaging started only in 2016. So from 0 in 2016, we have going up to about 20,000 tons in 4 years' time. This year, prognose for the consumer packaging is about 25 to 27,000 tons. So we will have an increase also this year. And as below, and as Teemu mentioned, as I said in the beginning, EU targets are pretty high for 2025. So we have a way to go. We have a plan, we have a roadmap how to reach it, and it includes many different kind of operative measures. It is regarding the household packaging to improve that. It is about improving companies to sort more. The central sorting mentioned in the middle here we feel is important also. We talk about chemical recycling and recycling of the more difficult materials. We need to do better than today to achieve the 50%. One small mention, and I will not go into this, packaging design is very important. If you collect something that can't be recycled, it is principle not worth to collect. So that's why it is important that the packaging is designed to be recyclable. And that knowledge is very, very important. We have made a special guide, the green book for that. And it's all start with the sorting technology to understand how it works and function. And only then you can understand how your packaging should be designed. And this is one of the biggest challenges in Europe today, to get companies to use packaging that is recyclable. Because packaging, of course, has many functions, and that's why it's important to try to balance everything. I put the two last slides here, something about the challenges and opportunities. We have on a European level, extended producer responsibility will be mandatory in the year 2024. Today, it is not mandatory in Europe. It will be. We have the 50% recycling target, which is very challenging because at the same time, the measurement point of what is recycled is changing. And it means that only really new products made of plastic is counted as recycled, or at least the granulates. We need to collect more to achieve the 50% recycling. We need to collect more than the 50% because all packaging is not recyclable. We need companies to do more. We need the whole packaging chain to do more and to work together, and that is very important. We need to have the consumer, the households to do the initial sorting. We also would need them to buy products made of recycled plastic, because only then we can make the real recycling. We need the end product, and we need more of it. Plastic manufacturers need to understand and learn to use recycled plastic in their products. We need the support of big supermarkets and brand owners for the better recyclable packaging, and also for their part to sell more to sell more products with recycled plastics in it. And the food grade recycling is a big important thing at the moment. Only the APET bottles, the water bottles, are really food to food approved, and there needs to be ways in the future to get more food to food grade. Is it a change in the contact legislation? Is it chemical recycling? The future will show, but food grade packaging would be a great area and a big volume for regranulates. To the left here, I said the more important thing is that we need to have the end products where to use the recycled plastics. On European level, we talk about 10 million tons of recycled plastics that needs to find an end product. So we need to have many of these to be able to find that solution. So collection is important, but it is also important that we find the recycled products that we can buy, everybody. So we wish a longer life for plastic packaging, and we can prolong it by doing the recycling in a proper way. Thank you.
Спасибо большое, Свет. Да.
Спасибо большое, Петр, за прекрасную презентацию. И я передаю слово Матти Немину, представителю Центра ВТТ, который расскажет про энергетическую утилизацию, про мусоросжигание. Пожалуйста, Матти, и у вас 15 минут времени.
Если можно, 14, поскольку нужно еще сказать всем спасибо. И будет очень короткий опрос участников.
14 минут, Матти.
Спасибо, извините.
Спасибо.
Sorry. I was muted, sorry. Okay, I hope that you see my slide, and I try to run my presentation in given time. So I will talk about waste incineration in Finland. And to be honest, I was very happy to hear about these collection systems so much, because I start from this EU level figure in order to show that this red one means that how much in European EU countries is landfill still today. This was from 2018. And the yellow one is how much is incinerated, used for energy purpose. And Finland is here. 2018 we incinerated about 57% of municipal waste, and 42% was recycled. And to be honest, this 57% is highest share in EU countries. And it is a little bit even too high, because you have heard already that we should recycle even more than 50% very soon. But anyhow, it has to be solved in some way. How municipal solid waste treatment has developed in Finland between last 20 years or almost 20 years. I will talk now about municipal waste, which is the responsibility of the communities, excluding these where the producer responsibility exists, but the rest, what is produced by private houses and public organizations. 2018, the total amount was about 3 million tons, and this means about 550 kilos per capita. And as said already, 42% was recycled, and then in energy recovery, 57%, and only 0.7% was landfill 2018. Total amount was collected separately. It was about 1.4 million tons, but the rest, roughly 1.5 million tons, it was incinerated. And there is also this bio-waste included, and it was mostly composted or digested. Digestion means that to produce biogas, cars or any other energy purposes. And the digestion residue, it's used usually in soil improvement or landscaping, so that there is nothing to landfill after that. This is how this waste incineration has been, or waste treatment has developed in Finland during the last 20 years. In the beginning of 2000, we had very, very limited amount of capacity to incinerate the green one, but we were landfilling the lowest one, the blue one. We were landfilling most of our waste. 2008, 2010, we started to commission new incineration plants in order to take care of minimization of landfilling, and so there was significant increase in this incineration. Also, there is some increase, unfortunately not very high, but there is also increase in recycling, so that it is developing, but much more dramatically incineration was increased. And as I said already earlier, this is a little bit, how to say, challenging situation, because now we have capacity so much to incinerate so much that we have challenges to increase this recycling. I want to show this one slide related to this recovering materials and separate collection, because this has very important role also from incineration point of view, so that we are now, as you have heard, we are collecting paper and board, bio-waste, beverage packages, aluminum cans, and also bottles, glass bottles, and there we have this deposit fund system. It works, refund system. It works really well. Glass, wood, metals. Okay, glass, metals, they are not combustible, and it's excellent that they are collected separately. Wood could be combusted, but it is also sometimes nowadays collected separately. And already you heard about the plastics. Plastics has very high energy content, and when plastic is collected separately, it has some impact also on that residual municipal waste, which will be incinerated, so that the energy content or heating value, as we say, it is lower, and so it's a little bit more challenging to burn the rest. Electronic waste, it's excellent that it is collected separately, because it is not so well combustible, I would say so, as well as batteries, etc. And hazardous waste is also collected separately, but the rest is then incinerated. How waste incineration is regulated in Finland? Primarily, most of our regulations, they are based directly on EU directives, and so Finland has adopted more or less directly what is said in directives. It gives an excellent framework how to do it. From process point of view, most essential is perhaps that temperature is and conditions how to burn, how to incinerate, they have been defined very carefully and in details. Minimum is 850 centigrade and at least 2 seconds after the last oxygen injection. And there are also regulations for hazardous waste incineration. They are a little bit strict, because they may contain halogenated compounds, etc. But anyhow, emissions are strictly regulated and controlled. There is a special control, so that most of the main components, they have to be measured online continuously by online analyzers and controlled to authorities. And heavy metals, etc., there is a specific program which has to be done, and usually by subcontracting to certified companies who can do it. And so they are also reported to authorities who are controlling. And so I don't see this as any problem in Finland. It works really well. Rather little criticism from any side. One issue which is also taken into account in incineration, it is that this EU directive, they request that energy content of waste should be utilized as at high level as possible, so that minimum should be 60% recovery of energy. But in Finland, where we have district heating system in most of the cities and villages, the overall efficiency to power and heat, district heat, it is it's approximately 90% in most cases. We have totally 9 waste-to-energy plants or waste incinerators in operation in Finland, and as I said already earlier, total capacity is about 1.5 million ton. One is under construction, and one is planning to have a new line also, so that even more capacity is coming. On the other hand, now we have to remember that even we have already challenges to recycle 50% because we are combusting or incinerating more than 50%, but we have also commercial and industrial waste which is not included in these numbers, and so more capacity can be fulfilled today. We have, in addition, we have approximately 20 conventional power plants, not coal-fired anymore, but conventional thermal power plants who have a license to co-fire waste-derived fuels. We call solid recovered fuel, SRF, or refuse-derived fuel, RDF. But they have also strict emission regulations based on the share, how much they are co-firing waste together with the normal conventional fuel. Today, only less than 10 plants are co-firing waste-derived fuels, and the reason is that economically it's not so attractive today. Waste incineration techniques we use in Finland. We have 9 plants, and 7 of them they are based on grate firing. It's the most common waste incineration technology in the world. 1 fluidized bed incinerator, it's an operation, and 1 fluidized bed gasification, and the produced gas is combusted after cleaning in the gas-fired boiler. So we have different technologies. Almost all of these are owned by community-owned organizations or companies. Only 1 plant having 2 lines is owned by 1 company, which is not owned by the community. In addition to these, we have 1 hazardous waste incinerator where we have 2 lines. And these co-firing plants, as I already mentioned, that there are about 20 plants who could co-fire. In addition to these, some waste-derived fuels, not MSW as such, but after processing to solid recovered fuel or refuse-derived fuel, some cement kilns. In fact, both of them, we have 2 cement kilns in Finland. Both of them are using also cement in order to replace coal in their kilns. And then solid residues from waste incineration, or ash, as we usually say. Typically, municipal solid waste, it contains 20-30% non-combustible ash, and something has to be done for it. And it's also very, expensive to landfill it if it's landfilled. This is huge number, and so nowadays bottleneck is more or less, or target at least, is to process it, and it has been started in rather wide scale in Finland, so that first metals are recovered because they are valuable and some money can be earned by selling them. There are non-ferrous metals, typically 4-6%, and approximately 10% ferrous metals, and the rest, the mineral matter, it is processed in order to replace virgin sand or gravel, for example, in road construction or concrete industry. The worst fraction from these ashes is so-called air pollution control waste, APC waste. It is from flue gas cleaning, and this is not recycled. It is stabilized and landfilled after that in the special landfill area. Nowadays, we have also 1 plant in Finland, Fortum is operating that. It is starting operation that water-soluble salts are removed by washing this APC before stabilization. And finally, what is the role of waste incineration in overall waste treatment? And I'm not directly linking to producer responsibility, but I see that waste incineration, it has a very significant role in minimization and avoiding landfilling of waste. Because if you look this hierarchy of waste hierarchy, prevention of waste is definitely the first one. Reuse, recycling, and then other recovery and energy recovery is here. So recycling and reuse, they are definitely higher priority issues compared to energy recovery. But energy recovery is higher than disposal. Disposal should be avoided because it will never come back then. My clear opinion is that efficient source separation and separate collection of several waste fractions, it enables high degree of reuse and recycling, and it has to be included and taken into account when incineration is thinking. But even in conditions today and also in near future and perhaps never, we can't recycle everything, and so we will have such kind of material which is coming lower in this pyramid, and so energy recovery is needed in order to avoid this disposal on landfills. And I already mentioned, but when we have a modern and strictly controlled waste incineration with high energy recovery efficiency, it's a clean and safe way to utilize energy content and avoid landfilling. This was very briefly the situation, and thank you.
Огромное спасибо, Матти, за прекрасную презентацию.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо огромное, Светлана, вам и за очень интересный доклад, и за помощь в организации этой встречи. Спасибо Тиму, Матти и кто у нас еще был? Петру, да, спасибо огромное. Коллеги, пока мы говорим спасибо, если можно, ответьте на вопрос, который возник у вас на экране. Да? И я надеюсь, что наше сотрудничество будет продолжаться. Мы собрали все вопросы, которые прислали слушатели. Я думаю, что они будут еще поступать. Я надеюсь, что, Светлана, с вашей помощью мы получим ответы на эти вопросы. И, возможно, нам нужно будет глубже нырнуть в технические детали для того, чтобы понять, что именно и как можно было бы использовать из опыта Финляндии для решения похожих вопросов в России. Значит, у нас сегодня 94% оптимистов, те, кто верит в возможность реализации концепции расширенной ответственности производителя в России. Но есть и 6% пессимистов, это хорошо. Это хорошо, это означает, что коллеги думали над тем, как отвечать. Спасибо. И у нас есть еще два вопроса, они чуть детализированнее. Это уже, коллеги, вопросы к членам комиссии Общественного Совета Минпромторга. Для нас очень полезно знать, насколько вы верите в то, что мы сможем использовать опыт Финляндии и опыт каких стран кажется для вас значимым в рамках нашей дальнейшей работы. Просьба также ответить. Так. Понятно. Я думаю, что уже можно завершать опрос. Итак, если говорить об опыте Финляндии, ответ такой средне-оптимистичный, можно, но с определенными ограничениями. Я думаю, что с этими ограничениями нам нужно поподробнее будет разобраться. И наибольший интерес вызывает также опыт Германии, Австрии и Японии. Я думаю, что мы попробуем организовать встречу с немецкими коллегами. Я думаю, что в какой-то степени, может быть, и сегодняшним спикерам из Финляндии это было бы также интересно. Всегда полезно сопоставлять себя с кем-то еще и понимать, что может быть сделано чуть лучше, и где можно не сделать ошибок. На этом, коллеги, позвольте всех поблагодарить и за замечательное выступление. Светлана, я надеюсь, что мы сможем направить всем презентации, потому что презентации постоянно спрашивали, равно как и запись. И коллегам за интересные вопросы. Мы продолжаем эту работу. Всем хорошего вечера и всего доброго. До свидания.
Спасибо, до свидания.
Спасибо.